What's up guys, it's Greeny, and today's video is a very special video that I've been thinking about and working on for a long time. I'm gonna give you guys all the information on what I wish I knew before I moved abroad. Some of these things may seem obvious, but a lot of them are things that I did not realize till way after the fact. And I'm gonna share one with you at the end that is affecting me right now, almost 2 years into living abroad, something that I should have done way ahead of time before I even moved. So let's get into it. If you're new to the channel, I'm Greeny. This is my channel, Greeny Travels. I moved to Thailand almost 2 years ago. I retired from America and I thought I knew everything about setting it up, and a lot of the steps I did right, but there's some things that still affected me. I worked almost 30 years in the law enforcement field and finally got ready to retire. I planned it out for several years in advance. So, I mean, I really had this shit down, but there's things that I missed. So let's start into this. The first step to moving abroad is to know where you want to move. So hopefully you guys have traveled many different places and have an idea in your head where you want to retire to, you know, be it South America, Mexico, Caribbean, somewhere in Asia. I picked Asia, but I did my homework ahead of time. I traveled to Colombia, Panama, pretty much most of the islands in the Caribbean and a bunch of different places in Asia, and I kind of settled on Thailand. Now, I don't make decisions that easily. It probably would have taken me even longer, but the pandemic kind of forced my hand because I was out here in Thailand. I had trips planned to several other places, but obviously the pandemic changed all that. So here I am in Thailand, but I'm very happy. I'm very happy. So when you kind of have an idea of where you want to move to, you need to go to that place for a month, 2 months, kind of scope out the whole thing and make for sure, double for sure that that's where you want to move to. And not just the country in particular, you want to travel all around the country and figure out, like, you know, I moved to Thailand, but when I came out here the first time for 2 months to scope it out, I went Bangkok, Krabi, Phuket, Koh Samui, Koh Tao, this Pattaya area where I live, which I'm not in Pattaya, that's a little too busy for me, but I'm near Bang Sarai, which is a half hour from there, and it's a kind of a quiet, sleepy little area near the water, near the ocean. I love it. So when you know for sure where you're gonna go, you kind of scope it out and say you get back to your home country and you're gonna really get everything set up to go. First thing you need to do is check your passport. You can't go anywhere unless you got at least 6 months left on your passport. So make sure you got that going. Make sure you have a long time left on your passport before you set this one up. One of the early things you should do is go see your doctor. I went and saw my doctor. You know, different places may have different immunizations, different shots, different vaccines you should have. My doctor suggested that I get the hepatitis A, that is. And that's for more foodborne illnesses, because you can get things like that in Southeast Asia. The next thing is get all your medications prepped before you go. Bring like a year's supply of medications. And many people don't know this, but I'm gonna share a little trick with you. If your doctor writes you, say, 4 refills on a medication, well, first of all, you want to get 90-day dose, 90-day supplies. So what my doctor did is wrote me a 90-day supply with 3 refills. You can go to pharmacies and you just have to wait 1 day in between when you fill each prescription, and you can get another refill. Now, your insurance is not going to pay for all this. They'll pay for the one initial dose, but you can go the next day and get a refill. Go the next day, get a refill. Go the next day, get a refill. That's 1 year's worth of medication right there. That's what I did. And let me show you a little trick that I use. So there's this app, and there's a couple different ones, but the one that I use is called Single Care. There's GoodRx, there's Single Care, there's RX Saver, and these are all apps where they'll tell you, like, you put your medication in. So I'll show you. So this is the app right here. And if I punch in, you know, whatever medication I want to take, let's say I take lisinopril, all right? And I have my home address in here, and I put lisinopril. That's like a high blood pressure medication. It will tell me what kind of discount I can get at like the different drugstores near where I live. Like I get, you know, Walgreens, Meijer, CVS, and I mean, it's dirt cheap. Some of these are cheaper than your own insurance. So you may pay more using your insurance than you do using GoodRx or whichever one. Like I said, I use Single Care. So that's a little trick. Get a year's worth of medication. I got out to Thailand, I had a year's worth of medication. I went home at like almost a year and I got another year's medication and brought it back. I got some people coming to visit me and I'm having them pick up some of my medications to bring it here. So, you know, that's a huge trick. Now, not to say in different countries that you can't get the medications you need, because I can, but sometimes getting that 90-day dose, like especially in America, I'm not sure about Great Britain or some other countries, Australia, but I know when I get these 90-day doses, it's cheaper than if I just go to one of these pharmacies here. And if you go to a private hospital here, like Bangkok Hospital, and get your prescriptions, they're even more money here. Your insurance, if you have insurance from home, I'll get to that, but a lot of times they won't cover the medications in another country. You can use like medical care, but not really your medication. The next step you're going to want to take is downsizing. You're going to need to make a decision. Do you want to keep your home, your abode, whatever you call it in your home country? Do you want to rent it out? Do you want to sell it? If you don't own anything, then it doesn't really matter. You can just leave. In my case, I rent out I have a duplex. So my son's living on one half, I rent out the other half. It works great. I still have the peace of mind that if I ever have to leave Thailand and go back home, I still have my place, but you need to make that decision. So I still have all my crap there. If you're gonna sell your place, you gotta decide, are you just gonna get rid of everything? Are you gonna ship things to the next country? Or you're just gonna get a storage, you can get a storage area. Your first venture to that new country, you know, before you're 100% sure that that's where you're going to be for an extended period of time, you may want to just get a storage area and keep everything in storage. If you know you're gone for good and that's it, then sell everything or ship it. There's some different companies you can get priced on shipping your goods to wherever you're moving. One of the ones I saw is like Allied. They got international movers. You can go online, get a quote, figure out how much it's going to be to ship your stuff. Healthcare. Do you have healthcare in your country? You need to check and see, will they cover you if you go to a different country? When I first started exploring the idea of maybe moving abroad, I had no clue that my insurance actually would cover me in another country, but I have Blue Cross. They have this thing called Blue Cross Global Core, and I can go to the doctor here, I get receipts and make copies. They have an app, and I just submit it and get reimbursed. It's easy. Maybe other insurance companies have that. I already had this insurance because of it's included in my pension, so why should I get another insurance? If you don't have this luxury, check out the rates of insurance companies in the country you're moving to. In Thailand, it's pretty inexpensive compared to America, and I've talked to a lot of people and they're pretty happy with their insurance that they have here. So check into that before you move. When you're heading to this other country, you're probably not going to get the insurance until you get there. So to kind of bind you over to be careful, I would advise getting a travel insurance policy. Go online, look up travel insurance, make sure it covers you for the country you're going to, and get that until you're situated and you get a permanent policy. Let's talk about money and what you should think about doing with your accounts and different things before you head out of the country. So what I did, and it's a good idea, and there's other services, I use Charles Schwab. I opened a Charles Schwab account. I transfer money over into that. And when I'm in another country, I can use any ATM and they reimburse all the fees. Charles Schwab investment account. But they also have like a checking account or a regular account. So, you know, I keep most of the money in that and just use that when I'm overseas. Apparently, I've been told Fidelity has a similar account to that. Wise, I'll get to that in 1 second, but I think they have something pretty similar where you can get one of their cards and use it. Speaking of Wise, I'll put a link in the description. If you sign up for Wise, I think you'll get like a discount or some cash advance, something like that. I'll put the link in the description. I use Wise all the time. Literally, last time I used Wise, what you do is you set it up and they link your account to your account wherever you move. We'll talk about the accounts where you move in a minute. But, you know, last time I did it, I linked it up from my Bank of America account. It took 5 seconds for me to transfer money to my Bangkok bank account in Thailand. So it's so cool. You just go on the app and I'll say like 1,000 US dollars. Hit it, it tells me how much I'm gonna get in Thai baht, that's where I am, Thailand, and it gives you a really good conversion. I mean, it's better than the booths here. And I think I pay like $7 per transaction. Hit it, within like 5 to 7 seconds, usually my money's in my account here. If I do it on the weekend, it'll usually take till like Monday when the banks open up. As I was saying about opening an account where you move. So for instance, I moved here, I got here, I opened a few bank accounts here. One, I keep like a lump sum of money that I'm required to for my visa. The other one, I use to transfer my money from America. You're gonna need to investigate that. You can do that before you move, you can do it after, but I would kind of look into it a little bit before you move, get an idea, watch some YouTube videos on, banking, where you're gonna move. There's videos. If you're moving to Thailand, I made one. You can check it out, how you open a bank account here. And just investigate that, know what you're getting into. Another thing is I would keep your accounts open in America or wherever you're from. I'm from America. But I primarily use my accounts in America to pay bills in America if I need to. I transfer money when I need to. Just transfer over wherever you move. Just transfer the minimum that you need to. Don't transfer a bunch of money over there. Keep it in your home country just to be safe, because you never know. You never know what could happen. Social Security. When you reach a certain age in America, it's 62 and a half, you can get Social Security, you can get money transferred. Make sure wherever you're moving, if you're gonna be there permanently and cut ties with like your home country, make sure that you can get the money. In Thailand, you can get the money. In Mexico, you can get your Social Security. You move to Vietnam, if that's the only address you're using and you've like cut all ties with your country you came from, you can't get Social Security there. I know some people, they live in Vietnam, but they keep their American accounts. Everything goes direct deposit in America, and they just transfer money over when they need to. So I think that's the best idea for doing that type of stuff. But, definitely investigate that. Now, this is an important one, and this is something that I kind of dropped the ball on a little bit. And this is what I alluded to at the beginning of the video, that 2 years in, I wish I would have done this. It's make copies of all your important documents. Scan them, put them up in the cloud somewhere, put them on a thumb drive, whatever you got to do, make sure you have those documents. And let me go over this list real quick. So I just made this list real quick off the top of my head. Your passport, have copies of that in case you lose it. Have copies of your visa for that country you're moving to. Your birth certificate, marriage certificate, divorce decree, visas, credit cards. Make sure you get the front and back of the credit cards. Have copies, because if you just copy the front and you lose that credit card, do you know the phone number you need to call to report it stolen or lost? So make sure you have the front and back of all your credit cards. Proof of vaccinations, proof of citizenships if that's something you need. Your driver's license, insurance policies, academic records, diplomas, employment records, a will, last will and testament if you have that. That's an important thing to have. Are you married? Do you have a prenuptial? Have a copy of that. So as I was alluding to at the beginning of the video, I just recently got married and I had to get some different documents for that. And now 3 or 4 months into my marriage, I'm working on filing some paperwork with the State Department of the US so she can get a visa, or it's a few-year waiting list, but I'm going through this stuff and I got to attach my first divorce decree from when I was married. I've been divorced 18 years, 19 years, however long it's been. I have to attach a copy of that. So now I got to have somebody find that, scan it, and send it to me. So just any important document you have, scan, put it on a thumb drive, put it in the cloud somewhere, make sure you can get it. Make sure it's safe. If you have a thumb drive, make sure you put like a code, a passcode on it, so if you lose it, nobody can open it. If it's in the cloud, make sure it's a secure cloud thing. You know what I'm saying. Before you leave home, get an international driver's license. You may think like I did, like, oh, I'm moving to Thailand, I'll never drive, screw that. Well, you may decide, okay, I spent 6 months in a busy city, I didn't need a driver's license, I didn't need it, but I moved to kind of a quieter place, I'm on the water, I'm on the ocean, it's beautiful, but it's not really walkable. So I got a driver's license and I drive now. And I'm glad I had that international driver's license. It saved me a lot of time and aggravation. I just took it in. And they're like, okay, you got that? Watch a video for an hour, take a vision test, and bam, I got my driver's license. Easy as that, easy peasy. Do you have pets? If you got pets, you better research bringing your pets with you if that's what you want to do. There's like the USDA, there's like different things you got to deal with to take your pets anywhere. I'm not sure what it is in each given country. I know if you're taking to America, you got to get USDA clearance, all these different things. There's services out there that will take care of everything for you. My friend, he just paid $14,000 US to bring 2 German Shepherds over here. I recently talked to another person. They brought a little dog. They just kept it on their lap on the airplane, but there's paperwork involved. You got to make sure you take care of all that. So it could cost you from like a few $100s to thousands of dollars to bring your pets. Do your research, Google it. Make sure that you can still get your mail. Are you going to be receiving mail in America? Are you going to forward it here? You could have a friend get your mail for you. There's another thing called a virtual mailbox. Google it. I like that. Google it. There's many different companies. They start at like $7 a month. They'll receive all your mail, they'll scan it for you, they'll get packages. You know, it just depends what package you want to get. If you're only going to get like 20 pieces of mail a month and it's no packages, it'll be about $7 a month. And they give you a virtual mailbox. It doesn't say P.O. box. You know, people aren't going to know you're not living there. I don't know about getting a license in that state or whatever, but get it. Get your mail forwarded to you, because you're still going to have mail from whatever country you're coming from. UK, Australia, Hungary, Japan, I don't know. Google it. I'm sure there's virtual mailboxes in that state too. One of the last things you want to do before you actually move is learn a little bit of the language. Not much, but just a few things, maybe some numbers, maybe how to ask a few questions, how to greet people. I didn't do that. I knew a little bit, some greetings, but lately I've been using an app called UTalk. They actually contacted me. They wanted me to make a full video, which maybe I'll do that later about it. But I did check it out, and it came in kind of useful. It kind of reminds me of the old Rosetta Stone, where they show you like a video or they show you pictures of things and make you remember it that way. So it's like they're not even communicating to you in your native language. They're like showing you the picture and then giving you the word in that language, and they have like every language you could think of. So it's called UTalk. I'll put in the description. They sent me a link, and you can get 30% off if you use my link. I think they'll give me a few bucks. I don't know. I didn't even send them my bank account or anything yet. I'm gonna contact them after I make this video, but I'll put that link in the description. I'll put it here in the video. Check it out, UTalk. Out of the different apps I've looked at, and I've used different ones for Thai language, this one seemed kind of the easiest to learn, because it's like that old Rosetta Stone. It's like that memory, you know, you look at an apple and they give you the word. It seemed to work pretty good. It seemed for me to be able to pick it up a little easier than some of the other apps I looked at where it's just the words, just the language. Well, I'll be doing a follow-up video on this, what you need to know when you get to these countries, you know. I'll do one specifically on Thailand because that's where I am. Probably some other countries too, we'll see. But your last step before you're leaving your home country is gonna be like, find the best deal on a flight coming here. You're gonna fly, you know, maybe you're going to Mexico, you're gonna drive. That'd be better. Take your car, take everything. But if you're flying overseas, flying somewhere, little tip that I use is I go on Kayak, because they give you like all the different travel deals. And so I'll look and I'll see like, okay, on this date, for instance, I was online with my friend today, Air Canada was the cheapest on Kayak. So he looked at that, then he went on the Air Canada website, and it was the same price to book that. But it kind of gives you an idea of like, you know, instead of going on 100 different websites, every airline website to get the cheapest flight, you just go on Kayak, you find the cheapest one, then you go on that website and book it. Book it, Dano. Okay. Hopefully this video was helpful to you guys. Check out this playlist right here. This is some of the things that I've learned when I came to Thailand, you know, how to do different things here, get a driver's license, all those type of things. Check out that playlist. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll be doing some more informational videos. I don't have any trips planned for a month or so. So just gonna give you guys, I'm gonna load you guys up with information. Greeny out.